The following has adult themes and may have swearing. You have been warned.
Viewer discretion is advised.
That won't do. And anyway, I have to go. But it's still a stupid idea. If Shrek was hiding anywhere in the camp, he would be found by now. And of course, he wants to be found. If only he wants to be found. So I hardly believe I could help him. Together with his thoughts, I entered the cabin and stretched out on my bed. Nothing good will happen if Olga finds me here. Stop, enough. I am a trembling creature, or do I have rights? I didn't want to do anything anyway. The day was hot and previously... The day was hot as all previously and previous and the... As all previous, and the only thing was to stay in bed and wait for lunch. I was just falling asleep when somebody knocked on the door. Come in. Sylvia stood on the doorstep. Olga isn't here, is she? No. And what are you doing? She asked with distrust. I've looked over myself, over bed, and said, lying down. I can see that. But I've heard Olga ask you to find Shrek. Well, yes. And? What's the point? I'm sure she's already turned the whole camp upside down. Not much time has passed. Why should we panic? You know stuff happens. So Anna looked at me thoughtfully. Get up. Do I have to? I was so worn out that even a thought about going somewhere frightened me. Yes, you do. Savannah is not the person who offers I would even turn down. I stood up, reluctantly came out the cabin with her. We stood at the doorway for some time, relaxing in the beams of summer sun. Though it was rather frying. Where should we go? We have to look somewhere. Great idea. The first stop in our route was the library. Susanna went to dinner. He was sitting on the table and spoke to her. I was just standing at the doorway. I didn't want to communicate with this librarian more than is required. A few minutes later, Sylvia came back to me. So, nothing. She shook her head, as expected. Canteen. We still had some time before lunch starts, so there was no usual crowd of pioneers. It was empty inside and out of the building. While Savannah talked to the cooks, I was sitting and playing with the salt pot. Some salt dropped out of the pot. Certainly I would be disappointed if I was superstitious. Strange though, he wasn't here either. Would be unexpected if she found him, for instance, in the refrigerator. Next up, according to our plans, was the infirmary. I've decided not to go inside and wait outside. He's so scared of that nurse. No results. There were pioneers playing football on the sports ground. It would be hard for Shrek to get lost amongst them. Finally we reached the clubhouse. You mean he can be here? I think that's where we would have to start from. Let's come in. Empty inside. Sylvia opened the door and came into the next room. I followed her. This all seemed to me a stupid undertaking. Let's have a look around the room while we're here. Paint pots, lots of cardboard boxes. A picture of a guy going into space, maybe? Oh, excuse me. PC or TV there. This was a strange, especially... Oh, I keep blowing on the mic, sorry. This was strange, especially because it was Sylvia's idea. There's a little room back there. No, I understand responsibility and so on. But it isn't obvious that he's not in the camp. After all, he isn't playing hide and seek with us, is he? No, no one here. What did you expect to see? Him sitting in the closet? Well, seems like I offended her. Sorry, but seriously, I understand. But we have to check all possibilities. Okay, listen. What do you really think? About Turek's disappearance? Yes. Maybe he went into the forest and had been caught by a forest spirit. She laughed at that. What a fabulous story. However, in this camp, you never know. Yes, that is true. But now is not the time for joking. Cheer up. We'll find him. Hope so. Sylvia smiled. We'll still have some things to do. See you later. She left, but I was standing there for some time, staring at the cybernetics club closet. However, I was so inspired by Sylvia's activity that I decided to continue searching somewhere else. I went for lunch with mixed feelings, with a sense of accomplishment and realization of the time wasted. The canteen was crowded. I couldn't stay unnoticed. Olga called to me. Simon, come to us. Camp leader Sylvia and Electronic were sitting at a four-seat table. I nodded and went to take food. This time I spent some minutes in the queue. Today's menu didn't differ from the other day's menu. Dishes looked the same at least. When I sat at the table and wished bon appetit to everyone, Olga said, "So what are you thinking?" "About what?" "We searched for Surak all around. It's noon and he's nowhere to be found." I took note of the rhyme but didn't want to point it out. We looked all over the camp. I went around the neighbouring forests. Olga looked at me and I helped too. "We must call the police. Maybe we should wait until evening," I asked lazily. "Maybe he went home." "It cannot be. Shurak lives thousands of miles away. By train? The nearest station," she paused, "is far." Now it was getting interesting. Every time the conversation reaches the point concerning ways I could leave Shurak, all the camp inhabitants starts changing the subject. How far is far? Really far? Camp leader looked at me, indicating with her look that asking questions was not advised. "So we should go deeper into the forest. Maybe he got lost. Shurak always takes a compass," chimed Electronic. "I wonder what else could be found in his magic vest, if he has one. I wonder if I would get lost in the forest, compass would be of no real use." "Police. We should call the police in the evening. Not right now, at least." "Okay, see you later." They were all silent. We should be able to find him before evening. We still have time. If he actually got lost, we have no time to lose. We cannot be sure. Then where is he? Where? There was some truth in the camp leader's words. Hiding the whole day just like that is suspicious. Why would he do that? Shrek seems to me quite serious pioneer. Joanna would have been a better fit for this behaviour. So there is reason to believe that he was gone. All that could be done already. I keep seeing something move out the corner of my eye. Definitely nothing moving in the canteen. All that could be done already done. We'll just have to wait. Silver Electronic and Olga looked at me sorrowful and haven't said a word. I finished my lunch, brought the tray back and left the canteen. It's still a first half of the day. What now? Well, we didn't check the boathouse, but it's not letting us go back to the map. So the camp was drifting to an afternoon nap. Only Jenna started at me through his glasses. Of course, he started somewhere else, but I had a feeling that he was constantly watching me. I bet he knows where Shurek is hiding. Just can't tell anything. Disappearance of the cybernetics club leader made me think. Maybe it's got something to do with my case. Oh, Pioneer! Uh-oh. The nurse stood in front of me. I looked at her curiously. Go and take my place in the infirmary. I have an urgent call. Somebody is injured. Me? Yes, you. Take the keys. Nurse threw the keys at me and ran away. Why me? Isn't there anyone else in this camp? What exactly should I be doing if something happens? Oh, what can I do now? I missed my chances to refuse. I stood in front of the door with uncertainty. On the one hand, there is nothing to worry about. I'll spend here half an hour and she'll be back. But what happens if someone comes in for actual help, with a broken leg or an injured head? I began to worry too much. I hope I hope that there are no serious injuries that other than bruises and scratches in this camp. But at the same time, I could not get rid of an idea that in case of something situation, I would be absolutely useless. I don't even know how to perform CPR. Magazines on the nurse's table caught my attention. A good way to relax, I guess. This is labelled Soviet fashion. Published date or month were absent. Oh. However, this was not a surprise. There was much stranger things happening here. I didn't know much about Soviet magazines. Maybe they actually didn't have publishing dates on them. Well, models dressed in old-fashioned clothes stared at me from glossy pages. There's a computer right there. Just look at the date on the computer. Nowadays, nobody would put such clothes. I smirked. I wonder if Sylvia, for example, considered this fashionable. Only imagine what would happen. Where's the D gone? If she appeared in my time wearing something like this. Imagine we are walking in hand. I'm wearing my coat with the hood and she's dressed in lavish dress covered with lace and things. Seems like I'm already imagining Sylvia in my world. With me. And not only Sylvia. This dress better suits you, Anna. This cute Safari would look good on Elisa. This skirt and cardigan would look nice on Lena. If only they could be real. No, I saw them, heard them, could even touch them. But still they are here and I simply don't belong to this place. It's alien to me. I'm just waiting for my chance to get out of here. Waiting because nothing depends on me anymore. I sighed, put my head on the table and fell asleep. I was awakened by the door opening. Lena stood at the door. Yesterday I promised to help her in the infirmary. Oh, you remember now? My cheeks became scarlet shortly and I turned away, pretending that I'm busy. Nurse is not here. Then I'll come back later. I'm substituting her. Since I'm responsible for pioneer lives, I should do it with all the responsibilities. Although in fact, I was just afraid of something happening because of me. Any health complaints? I tried to give Lena the most accurate smile I could in order not to confuse her. Nothing special, just a little headache. Let's do this. Some painkiller maybe. Of course I wasn't aware where to find the required medicine, so it took me a long time to find them. Finally. I handed a metomazole tablet to Liana. Thanks. She smiled. That was absolutely unexpected, and so I lost touch with reality, staring at her. What? Liana got awkward in a moment. Listen, I've been wondering, do you like this? Don't know what's got into me, but I grabbed the magazine from the table and showed her a picture of a skirt and a cardigan, which would really suit Lena, in my opinion. Maybe I went completely nuts, thinking about all the girls in this world, in my world. Or maybe I wanted to distract myself instead of waiting for the nurse to come back. Lena looked at the picture. Yes, I guess. Is this stuff like this in trend? I guess. She got confused and started to blush. Why are you asking? Really, why? Yeah, let's go for it. I just think you look gorgeous in it. It's alright, I'm just being completely honest. We were quiet for some time. How's your headache? Much better, thank you. She smiled. I'll go. Good luck. Lena came out and I continued to look through the magazine. After a while, somebody knocked on the door again. It seems like the infirmary's most popular place to go. Suddenly I decided to roleplay a nurse. Just a male version. And said, "Come in." The door opened and Joanna entered the room. Wow, did I miss the moment when you decided to start knocking? Anything wrong with knocking? She frowned. What's hurting? Why on earth would I tell you? Where's the nurse? In front of you. Imposing cross-legged and looked questioning at her. I better go. Better die than being treated by you. She smiled mischievously. You didn't even try. All that. Joanna thought for a moment. Thought you could give me pills? What's bothering you? It took her some time to reply. Heaviness in the stomach. Sure. It's not heaviness in the emptiness in the head. I muttered under my breath. What did you say? Nothing. Give me a second. I found some pills in the first drawer I opened. Thank you, doctor. She smiled cheerfully. For Joanna, I could not imagine how such optimistic and active child could have health problems. She gave me a stolen candies. I clicked there. She gave me a baleful look. No, I left everything for you. Joanna ran out the infirmary and slammed the door. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. Again I went into studying the Soviet fashion trends. Time passed, but the nurse was still absent. I wasn't searching for Shorak. Wasn't looking for any clues concerning my state. I was just sitting and flipping through the magazines. Just for a moment, I felt quite satisfied with this situation. Eventually, everything happening here could be seen as some sort of trip to a summer camp, and if nothing changes anytime soon, then I can start worrying. Again, someone knocked at the door. Did I miss an outbreak of an epidemic? Sylvia was standing in the doorway. Oh, hi. Isn't the nurse here? Hi, no, she's not here. I'm taking over for today. Great. I'd like... She hesitated. What? By the way, Simon. Sylvia said and looked at me intently. What? Seems like I lost my keys. Have you seen them anywhere? Sure I have. Yes, here. I found them near the canteen yesterday. I wanted to return them, but I forgot about it. I wasn't really lying. My cheeks were red. My eyes were wandering around and hands were constantly shaking. Here. I was already preparing myself for an appropriate scolding, but Sylvia only took the keys and said, "Thanks. So what have you come for?" I really had to change the subject. Anything hurts? No, it's nothing. Strange. I wouldn't even think that such an open person as Sylvia would keep things quiet. If there's something bothering you, tell me. That's why I'm here, to treat people. I smiled widely. No. I mean yes, but no. Hearing that made anything possible, even division by 0. So how can I help you? You? I guess you can't. She smiled and was going to leave, but suddenly stopped. However, can you step out for a minute? Why not? Okay. I stepped out the infirmary and leaned on the wall. I was wondering what might she be doing, something that I can't even see. After a minute, the door opened and Sylvia came out. She was carrying a small bundle. I should really ask. She's not going to tell me, so yeah. What is it? Nothing. She blushed. Thank you. You're welcome. She ran away. Seems like I shouldn't have asked. Damn. I looked at the time. It was getting late. I've read the magazine backwards and forwards, but the nurse still wasn't there. It's going to be Elisa next. There you go. Suddenly door burst open and Elisa ran inside. She looked at me worriedly. And what are you doing here? Sitting. I admire honesty. Okay then. It's even better without the nurse, she murmured. Are you sick? I asked acidly. Lisa didn't answer and came closer to me. Move over. Why? So I opened the drawer. Isn't it obvious? What for? She got angry. None of your business. Well, I'm kind of in charge here. She gave it a thought. Then give me some active carbon. Stomachache? Yeah. She grinned acidly. I felt there was something wrong here. Activated carbon. Let's not give it to her without really a stomachache. Really. Doesn't seem so. What? Do I have to toss my lunch over the place for you to believe me? I don't know what terrible is there to be done with active carbon, but I'm sure you will think of something. She hesitated. And what if you're right? Here. I knew it. Then I'm certainly not giving you anything. Alex was a Soviet infantry soldier during the Great Well, it's so awkward the title a hero of Soviet Union for blocking German machine gun with his chest. Okay, interesting. Lisa tried to get to the drawers, but I blocked the pillar box with my chest like Alexandra. With all her impotence, she was still just a girl and had no chance to push me aside. Whatever, I'll find it somewhere else. She turned away and headed to the exit. At the door, Elisa stopped and looked back. By the way, the camp leader and the nurse are carrying a pioneer with a broken leg. I really don't care, but they seem to be struggling. Yeah, sure. Come see for yourself. Elisa seemed to be lying, but on the other hand, as long as I can see her. I came to the door and looked outside. No one was there. Exactly where? Haven't reached here yet. She made a helpless gesture. Have fun. I returned to the table, then I realised that one of the drawers was opened. How did she make it? I turned my back for a second. Though what evil can come of activated carbon? It was 15 minutes to dinner and the nurse still wasn't back. I guess just leaving like that won't do. She asked me after all. And who knows what might happen if I leave. Through who might want to steal anything from here. except release of steel and activated carbon. I opened the magazine again and began flipping through it for the 9th time. The fashion of the 80s wasn't that fun anymore. Yawn. Good timing. Yawning got me several times. It was already 6 o'clock, hence dinner had already started. Of course, I had to be on watch till the end, but my stomach seemed to have its own opinion on the matter. I stood up and steadily headed to the exit.